Good evening. Big Al again. What we're doing now is I'm about six hours behind schedule. So what was going to be a day drive is now a night drive. We're going to head up the Peak Downs Highway, which I've shown you a little bit of it once before, but the friggin' camera stopped a quarter of the way through it. So we're going to drive into the picturesque sunset and up the Eton Range, and then turn off to head down the Fitzroy Development Road. So if you're someone who's going to be working out in Moranbah or whatever in the mines, or you want to be heading out to Clermont or even further out to Longreach from Mackay, that's the highway you're going to be taking along the Peak Downs Highway. If nothing else, you'll see what it's like to drive at night and beware of roos and this time of year. Yeah, I think it's getting close to the start of the mating season for the koalas. I have spotted a couple on this road before. So just sit back and enjoy the scenery. I've got to get around to sorting out music, because it's getting royalty-free music, so. Bit of an issue. this is Walkinston, little town just outside of Mackay. It's got that country feel to it. Son, how are you?
Hey man, what's up?
I'm driving in my car. So you're, yeah, say
fuck you.
Say g'day to everybody out there on YouTube world.
Oh, are ya?
Yeah.
I accidentally swore because I can't drive. Not bad.
Well, instead of driving, you just watch me drive. Yeah, I'm dedicating.
Feel better.
I'm dedicating this one to you, Blair.
Just because I can't drive, you're gonna drive everywhere and be like, "Hey, this is what it's like to drive."
Yeah, man. It's all for those people in. It's also for the people in lockdown, but this particular one is dedicated for you. So it's driving into the sunset and a night drive back to Blackwater.
Oh, that's right. Driving into a sunset. See you, bye. Is that what you're saying? Sorry. I mean, watching too much Faulty Towers. And last night I was watching Blackadder and Mr. Bean.
Oh, legend.
I didn't know they had Faulty Towers and Mr. Bean and Blackadder on all the thingos.
Yeah, I've noticed the other day that they've got Petticoat Junction on YouTube as well, so I've got to get around to watching that one.
Well, these are on like Stan and all them. Like,
okay.
Towers is on Stan.
Oh, legend.
Someone's already been watching them because it was, you know how it says, "Oh, do you want to resume?" Is that episode 2 already? Oh my god.
No, I think I watched it like about a month ago, the very first episode, because I'd never seen it before. Hey, you want to see the most wackiest, unpolitically correct show that's on YouTube? It's Kenny Everett's video show, right?
I don't know, because Faulty Towers with his German jokes and
no.
It was pretty offensive.
No, this stuff, I mean, this goes back, you may as well say it's the very first ever music show ever put on TV, but it's got a lot of comedy, and it's got its own animation thing on it and everything. And the guy was rude, crude, everything you could think of, but it had all the top acts in it.
In the first episode of Faulty Towers, he's like, trying to train the new guy, the Spanish guy. Like, got better luck training a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, you gotta watch. No, even Mum will agree. Kenny Everett's video show. She'll remember that one. Actually, the very first episode had that guy from the Beatles in it.
Oh, by the way, you guys from the Beatles.
Not Ringo Starr, not John Lennon. Paul McCartney. Yeah, it had Paul McCartney in it.
There we go.
And then the second episode had Bonnie Tyler in it.
Well, Becky said to me,
what?
We're 13 years apart, so what I find funny is probably not what you find funny, and vice versa. I don't want to watch this shit. She will stop. And we're looking at Mr. Bean.
I almost killed myself.
Who the fuck does not like Mr. Bean?
Yeah, exactly, I know. It's like I said, I came across a girl in my car once when I was Ubering. That was the Queensland captain of the netball team, and she'd had an argument with her husband over something, and she said he was hating on netball, and I didn't know who she was to begin with, you know, because I had another guy in the car with us, and I said, who the hell would hate on netball? And she goes, you know, you're right, eh? Who the hell should hate on netball? When she hopped out the car, the other guy said, you know who she was? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then he said, you know,
okay.
she was the captain of the Queensland team and the Australian team.
I think I know who she is, actually. I can picture her in my brain because I've seen her on the news. The funniest thing I had was picked up these two chicks.
Yep.
And what the lift from another one? Like, you know how, like, if I was going home and my friends with you, just drop me off on the way.
Yep.
And the other chick wasn't sort of happy about that. But anyway, and the one that filmed the ride wouldn't shut up. And she started asking me about politics and all this stuff. And I said, oh, you know what they say about the greens, don't you? And she goes, oh, what? I said, oh, the green on the outside, red on the inside. And I started laughing. And the one that booked it was just sitting there like dead silent. And the other one goes, oh, I guess that's a good thing. And I'm like, what the hell? And we got into like just talking about shit. Then she gets out, and so the other one's still sitting there quietly. And so I mentioned something, and she just turns around and goes, "You didn't realise we just I said, oh, what were you up to tonight or whatever? What's her story or whatever?" She goes, oh, we're campaigning for the Greens. We just got back from one of their campaign parts.
Yeah. Well.
And there I am. Like talking crap on the Greens the whole time.
Yeah, well, I had
no idea.
I had one of their.
Oh my god!
I had one of their candidates in my car once, advocating for death taxes, and got up me because I said I'm against them.
Yeah, well, this chick was so dead. The one that I was talking to didn't realise I was making fun of the Greens. She thought I was on board with what they stand for, like socialism and all that. That's what I mean. That's why it was funny.
Yeah. And
that's why when she just jumped out and said something, I was confused. So I asked the other chick, who probably thought that I was taking the piss on the Greens. And she's like, yeah, we're members of the Greens Party. We just got back from a fundraising. They were having a big hoo-ha party with all the Greens members and shit.
Yeah.
That's where I picked them up from. Some big function for the Greens.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, I had an LNP minister in my car who's on his way to a function with a Chinese diplomat at one stage.
Ooh, better keep that close to your chest if there's ever a China investigation.
Yeah, I think it was to do with a trade deal, but you know, we're talking, I think it was 2014. It was a while ago.
Yeah. But the other funny one I had, he was you know when you're on Clermont Drive and you get up near the end, it's sort of like a zigzag before you get to where the either go straight to the university or turn and go through Clermont. Yep. So I was going through the zigzaggy and I was in the BMW, so I didn't slow down as much as I normally would. I was just sort of just cruising. Yeah. And I just had it on. And the guy's like, "Ooh, you know, you should slow down for that. That's dangerous." Rah 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 rah. Yeah. And he started up at me. And I said, "Look, dude, sorry, but like this is my job. I've done hundreds of hours of driving. You know, I know the car. It's a German BMW. Like they're designed for this sort of shit. I'm sorry I didn't slow down enough for your liking. But the thing is, if it was in another car, I might have slowed down more. Like you get to know the car and how it can handle it. It can go through. And it's only 60 through there, so I wasn't speeding. Yeah, yeah. And then he gave me a big lecture on why they do the 200 hours and stuff. Turns out he was the minister that was in charge of putting up road safety and shit for younger drivers. Yeah. Because he was putting shit on me thinking I'd never driven a car before Uber.
You've driven thousands of hours before you even started doing Uber.
Yeah, I know. And even people your age probably haven't driven as much as me. Like, not all of them, but some of them. Yeah, I know. They're just doing their general to and from work. And that could be half their age, and I'd probably driven more than them. Man, we were doing 300-400 kilometres a day when we were doing courier work. And that weekend when you went up to see your auntie or whatever, I did 2,500 kilometres that weekend. Yeah, I know. You finished work on Friday. I drove you straight up to Mackay. I missed a couple of days because I was just that tired. And then I drove you home for work on Monday, and then I got offered a job in Brisbane, so I packed up my shit and on Monday afternoon drove to Brisbane. Yep. So, you know, that was the case-ish. to and from Mackay, East Way.
Yep.
So that's 2. And then almost 500 kilometres back to Brisbane.
Yep.
Over a weekend period.
Yep. So, yeah. Trust me, starting as a storeman driver when I was 18, the amount of kilometres I've done by the time I was your age even, because I went straight from that to being a courier for friggin' 5 years, and then 5 years as a cab driver on top of that before I went to mining.
I wasn't even fully fledged. I think I was on my P's when I started with you still.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah.
You're on your learners with your nan sitting next to you when you started.
Is that my learners or my P's?
No, you're on your learners. That's why she had to be with you. When I had to have my operation, you were doing my run.
Yeah. And then every time I've been on my P's, I even did that's why I went and got me learners for me truck drivers.
Yeah.
Because when I was working at Star Trek, they put me with a guy that had a medium.
You heard what Rebecca talking about she reckons that my show should be
what?
Coal miner wants a wife.
That's what I said.
Well, she said it to me.
Yeah, and I said it to you.
Yeah.
And I told them.
Oh man, I almost fell on the floor laughing when I read that. That'd be hilarious.
From me to you.
Yeah. Oh well.
But anyway.
She's mentioned it since as well. She thought it was
funny too.
Yeah, but oh man, I hadn't heard of something so funny.
You just get all the greenies?
Oh, no thanks.
No, they wouldn't want to marry you, they'd be protesting.
Oh, okay.
How dare you have a show? Then you'd have Greta Thunberg. How dare you? At the wedding, like, does anyone object? How dare you?
No.
Think of the animals.
No. Object to me getting married. Think of the animals.
Yeah, because
being a coal miner. Yeah, well, I always joke.
Yeah.
I always joke with Rebecca now that she's a coal miner's daughter.
Oh my god. See, the funniest thing, I've got a mate that lives about an hour and a half out of Alberta, in Canada, and Alberta is literally the middle of nowhere. That'd be like saying you live in Longreach.
Yeah.
Or it's an actual town.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of it.
Yeah, but it's literally in the middle of nowhere, and if you live an hour outside of that, that's like when we're living in Texas or even Blackwater, you're out of Emerald, right?
Yep.
But it gets so cold there, like negative stupid amounts.
Yep.
And you actually have to plug your car into the engine warm overnight.
Yeah, I've heard of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And he was working at an Indian reservation casino.
Yeah.
Literally had a sticky at the front of the casino.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. That's how India was. Like, it was full on Indian reservation. Anyway, Greta was doing a thinger, trying to stop the Canadians and doing a worldwide tour of, Greenpeace and shit.
Yeah.
There was hardly anyone at the Alberta rally. They just so happened to be in a park that was surrounded by all 4-by roads. Like, it's a pretty big park. So what did all the, out there, the only job, oil, coal, I don't know if it has coal, but definitely oil and wood.
Yeah.
Like, my mate ended up working, he still does, at a tree lumber place, like a factory making little lumbers and shit. That's the only 2 things that Alberta has going for it, basically.
Yep.
And that's why it's so big out there. The town is because all the minor industries.
Yeah, no one would have a job if they stopped.
Exactly.
The town wouldn't exist if they stopped.
They went on a protest. They're in their biggest trucks they could find, and like trucks, not just 4-wheel drives and shit. And they're just circling this park, honking and shit with massive banners up on sides saying, you'll ruin the economy and all that sort of shit. And it was only until recently I noticed and thought about it. It is right what they say. Like, if we have bigger batteries, and our biggest battery is basically dams and shit, because that's the amount of electricity we need.
Yeah.
Because even Elon trying to be green and shit. The lithium mined for those batteries,
Yep.
one battery is equivalent to like, you know, a couple of hours worth of coal plant mining, like
Yep.
like coal generating.
Yep.
Because it's mining lithium that's so deadly to the environment. Yes, it would be nice, but at the same time, you can't just shut that shit down overnight.
Yep. Too true.
But I was talking to Chris, he's worried because of the price of oil going down, is the work for him is sort of slowly drying up a little bit, like with all the poly pipes.
Yep.
Do they lay pipes to your work?
Yeah, they have pipe.
Are they fucking plastic pipes?
Hey?
Are they plastic pipes?
Yeah, they're like poly, but really, how'd you put it? Some of them are like pretty big because they put 66,000 cable volts through them, and they've got to go withstand pressure, so they go underneath roads and shit. So the pressure of any trucks driving over them, it's got to be able to cope with that.
Yeah, and do they?
And they have the ones for
together.
They have ones with for water as well.
Can you get in contact with any of those people?
No, I've got no idea, man. That's all BMA stuff, BHP.
Yeah, because I was talking to him politely about your situation, about how you were worried. And he starts asking, oh, does your dad know anyone, blah, blah, blah. It'd be good. Once you and Corey get back on the road, you could go out, pick up a bunch of, and then drive back the next day and stay at Dad's house while you're out there.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting paid for that? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, man. Like I said before, the way to get into that sort of stuff is through your LinkedIn account. They had a work LinkedIn account.
What it does. Yeah, that's what it does.
Well, you should add me and see if there's any of the ones on mine. And I think there's some people that are into that in mine.
Okay, well, I'll, you have to, I don't have a LinkedIn, never use the LinkedIn, especially since the security breach. I don't know if you know about that.
No.
A few years ago, a mate of mine was telling me that LinkedIn got hacked.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's password and everything got out there. This mate knows all databases that has, just trying to think.
Yeah, don't go into too much detail.
No, I'm just trying to think of the size of what it's called. There's something bigger than a terabyte. So you know a terabyte's pretty big, right?
Yeah.
In terms of space, right? So your little SIM card, the big one has 128.
No, the big ones these days have a terabyte.
Yeah. But you know how much video space and how much space that is, right?
Yeah.
Simple word document or just text takes up megabytes. So, you know, 1,024 megabytes is a gigabyte.
Yeah.
And then I think it's like 1,000 and something gigabytes is a terabyte. And then a couple of 1,000 and something is I don't know what the next unit of measurement are, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
Right? So if they've got like multiple, I think you said it was like 3 terabytes or whatever the I sound like a dickhead, but whatever the next unit of measurement up, they have like 2,500 of that.
Yeah.
And that's
shitload.
And it's just text. It's just text. So if you wrote down
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but imagine if you wrote down your email, your password, and your IP address.
Yeah, mate.
And you save that. You save that on its own. That's like 1 megabyte.
Yeah, I know, man.
Right? That's like
so you're talking like shitloads, yeah.
Yeah, from all different websites, including LinkedIn at one stage.
Yeah. Oh.
And he was telling me, met a fellow that's what he does.
Going up the Eton Range at the moment, and there was a 40 km/h speed limit sign previously, but it seems to have disappeared. I'd say they're going to be finished the 4 lanes up it by the end of the year.
I got something funny for you. So you know how they did the Moranbah bypass?
Yeah, man.
That happened. What, they opened it up near the end of mid to end of last year?
Yeah.
Because Chris kept telling me about it. He was saying I was saving him so much time.
Yep.
He called me today. It was going over the same path.
Yep.
This bridge path. It was down to one lane.
Yep.
They messed up the road so much they had to dig it up and re-put it down. He said just driving, he could feel on the, like it looked brand new, but you could feel how shitty the road was.
Oh,
so
okay.
within a year, I think it's been roughly a year. Not even a year. I think it's been like 9 months since it opened.
Yeah. It was like
the road has deteriorated so much that they're now ripping it up and re-pouring it.
Yeah. Someone's going to be in deep shit over that then.
Yeah, because they did the same thing out to Miles or something, didn't they? I remember. They were ripping it up, and there was somewhere you told me, and that was driven out that way.
No, that was just because it was, how'd you put it? Just redoing it and putting in overtaking lanes.
Yeah, but there was a spot where they had to they just laid the road. It was like 100 kilometres worth of road, and then they had to rip up that 100 kilometres to re-pour it because they did it dodgy. Oh,
okay, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what the bypass Swimmer is.
Yeah, and the people who did it will be in a shitload of trouble, and they'll be the ones that have to fork out under their own expense to fix it.
Yeah, but it makes me wonder, because these government contracts, right? It would have been a government contract. So they would have overcharged for everything, and then they would have tried and cut costs to get it done cheaper so they get the most amount of profit.
Oh, no, not really. They've got a tender for it, so...
yeah, but generally the government always spends a little bit more than what it's actually worth.
Yeah, it's not always the lowest tender wins.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, is the company doing it going to lose that much profit? In terms of man hours, it will be, but in terms of like overall profit of how much to redo it,
it'll be a real kick in the boot, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if I did something that cost my boss,
they're not just gonna say you got to fix it at your own cost. They're going to take a penalty out of them for doing it as well.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, there'll be an extra charge.
I'm just saying, like, if I did a test and they charged $300 for the test, and it took me half an hour, right? Half an hour out of my time might be $10.
Yeah.
And then if I still used up the test, I had to do the test again. So the man hours that I could be doing something else is wrong. But if overall it'd be $20 to do the retest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The company will be. The government will be wanting compensation out of them. Or actually, it won't even be the government. It's the mob that owns the toll part of it will be wanting money out of them for it.
Is there a toll?
Yeah. There's a toll on that. It's not. It's actually. It's about the only toll out of all of them that's a reasonable price.
Oh no, the Ipswich motorway is pretty decent.
Yeah, it's roughly the same price as Ipswich motorway, but you're going a lot further.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether they've got to jack up the prices when they've done the thing. Because for me to get to uni when I was going out that way, in a car it was like $1 or something. On my motorbike, it was like it wasn't even $1.
Yeah.
But I just took the exit beforehand because there was no tolls between. And then you go down this back street, and it was the same amount of time, if not quicker, because all the traffic going to hopping off at the actual exit.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It's actually quicker for me to jump off one exit before the hospital at Logan and go the back way and get there quicker than if I hopped off at the actual Logan exit.
Yep.
Pay the fine, the toll, and then get through the traffic.
Yeah,
that's what was hilarious.
Yeah, well, I reckon the Logan one's the biggest rip-off because the way the traffic banks up like crazy, but you still got to pay, even though they've got insufficient lanes and everything for it. You're paying for an inferior friggin' service, basically.
Yeah, the way I'm worried about is, okay, so I know the old Cornybrook Bridge, they had a toll on it, and then as soon as they paid back the bridge, they got rid of the toll.
Yeah,
right? And that was the thing with tolls.
Yeah, but that's not what they're doing with these ones. They're owned by companies that'll just keep running them as a profit.
So that's the thing, when they first sold the tunnel to LinkedIn or whatever it is, Link or whatever the company, Go Via and shit, they were running at a loss because when the government opened it up and did that whole have it for free for the first week or so. There was thousands of cars going through it every day, and they used that as a, hey, look, this is how much money you can theoretically gain because of all these cars using it. And then they sold it for however much they valued at.
No. They'd sold it.
Isn't that how they did it?
No, that's not how they did it. They, Go Vira, who it was, originally owned it right at the start. They made it free to let car owners know that, hey, shit, you know, this is how much time you save, so it's worth paying for it. It was a marketing thing. It was a marketing thing to get people to use it to begin with.
Yeah, but as soon as the tolls were turned on, everyone sort of stopped using it because it's too expensive.
Yeah, because they made the tolls too expensive at the start.
You know they're doing another one now. They started work on it recently, and Chris was excited because he got to go out on site a couple of times. This is what they're doing. Everyone's trying to save money, so there was a couple of jobs that they got. One for the under river rail that they started, and one somewhere else. And they're doing their own in-house testing now. But the thing is, they're not NADA approved, so stuff is on them. But they got engineers, so they're running the risk of, like, it's kind of like, well, it's not Australian guaranteed approved, but an engineer did it, so it is, but it isn't.
Yeah. So that engineer, if something goes wrong, he can get sent to jail.
Yeah, you do. There was a massive lawsuit that almost happened when Chris was working at Alphatech.
Yeah.
Boss called him in, and he had nothing to do with the project. And Boss gave him a piece of paper to sign and say, this is what happened. And he's like, these aren't my words, this is not what happened to me. Like, I didn't even work on the project. And the boss was trying to get him to sign it to say, hey, you know, and they ended up going to court over it, but luckily Chris had nothing to do with that sort of job because it's all NDT. But, like, that's how dodgy. That's why I told you I was looking at my records on how much radiation dosage I had when I was working with them.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Took the guy a month, got back to me, and apparently there was nothing, so it was good.
Yeah, I'm going to run out of phone service shortly.
Searching,
Hey? But yeah, I'm only on one. I'm only on one bar.
Another thing I was going to say, you know the big house counter that we got at Switch?
Hey, the what?
Will you come back in a bit?
Yeah, I'm here again.
I'll wait till I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I can hear you.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I'm going up. Up.
I can barely hear you.
Yeah. Well, if you can't hear
there you go.
Yeah, quickly.
I can see you. You know the big foundry that they had out at Ipswich that was making all the rails and shit?
Yeah.
That's completely closed down because of COVID.
Yep. Yeah, one of the coal mines south is going to completely close for the school holidays in September because of it. Because the price of coal has dropped.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the price of coal is, but I'm glad. I told you I bought 5 grams of gold the other day.
Yep.
The spot price is like 1,700 Australian.
Yeah.
Now it's over 2K an ounce.
Yeah, I just heard someone say that to me last night or the day before. It's $2,000 now. Man, if I'd put some CFDs on that, I would have made a killing.
I don't know what 2K Australian is. I don't know what the conversion is, plus the minus the fact that I only got 5 grand, but I wish I fucking bought more.
Yeah. Well, 5 grams, did you say? Yeah. That's 1/7 of an ounce. So 2,000 divided by 7.
Ooh.
Anyway, you know, you don't mind if I put this conversation up?
How long is your black spot for? You should call me back after you get through it.
Oh, mate, it's going to be shit for the rest of the journey, eh? When I get to the Fitzroy Development Road, I'm going to put my camera on time warp. lost my son Blair. He's going through a hard time at the moment. Very smart kid, but he's got a brain tumour and he's halfway through chemotherapy. Hoping things go better for him soon. I suppose I should really say that he's not a kid, he's a man. But even though he's 30, he's still my kid. How busy this bloody highway is, don't you? they got bright lights, and it takes you forever to tune them down. Okay, going through Nebo. Or you might want to call it Nebo. We're going to servos up till about 9 o'clock at night. bearings full of diesel. And any of those things, if there's ever a bad accident, it wouldn't be too good. guys still awake? Okay folks, I've turned off onto the Fitzroy Development Road, so you've seen what that's like. I'm going to stop for a minute, turn this off. That's one post. When we resume, I'm going to do a time lapse from here all the way through to Blackwater via the Bedford Weir, which will take us past some of the mines as well, so you'll see all the lights as we fly by.